Hello everyone! Welcome again to the Mania 4K World Cup 2023 edition. And for this one, we're going to be seeing Vietnam versus Chile here. I'm Siloas Kaels, and joining me is going to be Mifa. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hello, been recovering after the previous match before. I think it was Indonesia versus Hong Kong. So I feel like this is gonna be interesting. Chile versus Vietnam. You would expect these two teams really just closely even match on some different approaches to the map pool in general.
Yeah, I do expect it to be close in general. Like, I mean, this is seed, I believe, 7 versus seed 8, with Chile being seed 7. So I do think there is going to be a good chance for this to be close.
Yeah, I feel like even with Chile, with like I think for for example Miyuka and Sen doing most of the heavy lifting for Chile. I feel they're probably not gonna rely on those three players anymore. So it's literally a teamwork for Chile in overall, just to making sure they're on their optimal forms, especially for Vietnam as well. I feel like Vietnam is probably gonna be a little bit of an underdog, but I don't feel it's probably going to be that kind of thing, because they're pretty much all rounder in any type of in any kinds of situation really for the map pool in general.
I mean, both teams did barely like scrape onto the top seeded teams of this tournament, and being 7th and 8th respectively is already a great achievement on its own. It's a testament to how well rounded these two countries are. But I'm dying to see how well they would fare on somewhere as late as semis. Because, like, I don't think I've seen Chile ever go this far. At least this very new roster we've seen here. I don't think we've ever seen them reach semis. Like, the furthest they've ever gotten was quarterfinals, and in 2 consecutive years, they were very close to making it this far. But I'm glad that they finally broke the wall here and actually make it.
Right, I think it seems like Chile has their protect. I think it's going to be limited of the hybrid 3. Interesting protect as far as hybrid is concerned. And Vietnam's protecting, I believe it was Hollywood Squares, which is Rice 6.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Vietnam protect Rice 6, but I honestly think Rice 5 is a better protect in my opinion. Because, like, if you think about it, I'm in no mood for this. It's a very choke heavy map, and I just don't see Chile being very consistent on a map like that.
I feel that's a fair assessment in terms of protecting Vietnam, but I've never expected Vietnam to protect Rice. But I mean, otherwise it would be kind of the same thing as like Rice 5. It's just very choke heavy for what it is. But Chile is going to be banning BOL, or the stamina pick, I should say, and Vietnam is banning the hybrid 1, which just seems to be kind of odd.
Yeah, I would have thought Vietnam would maybe want to use hybrids and maybe LNs to their advantage, but I honestly think Chile has a great shot at making this very close on LNs. And here we go, opening up with Lemming Ming, a very interesting choice, I think.
Because actually, let me think this one, because I've never had that much of an experience for a Chilean team, but I think this might be the first time I've seen from Chile picking LN as their first pick. Usually you would see more of a straightforward picks, not necessarily LN.
Alright, well, it's actually interesting because now that you mentioned it, like looking at their history at least, I think they actually never really chose Ellen's first for any match, other than... No, actually, yeah, you're right. I think this is the first time.
seems like an odd choice, but I feel if they're okay with this pick, I would you would assume that they were confident, especially with Yuka, Kokomi, and I believe Bambi is picking for the third player for Chile, but which is no surprise to me. Vietnam also with straight juggernauts on LNs, especially with Lost, Sibeli, and Tridor.
Yeah, I think Sevilla is very good at Ellen release, but once again, my biggest problem here is actually consistency wise. Vietnam, I'm not sure exactly if they're the most consistent on Ellen picks, especially for release ones. So I do think Chile may actually have the upper hand in terms of that, though they still have to play this really carefully.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. Consistency might be the biggest issue for Chile. I feel Vietnam has some ounces of more consistency, but I think in terms of general average score, it would be somewhere around there. But Chile might be having the one of the biggest cases in terms of one player missed or even like two of them maybe. But their scores are generally very high, but it's just inconsistent at best.
That's fair. Inconsistency is gonna be the biggest question here. Like, I don't know about you, but I have a bad feeling about like consistency, especially with the disparity in times. Chile is playing at a very early time, while Vietnam is gotta be playing at like a later time for them. So it's really just a battle between if you're tired because you've had most of your day done, or if you're tired just because you woke up just right now.
I mean, probably this wasn't the case since, well, Chile is playing up like a little bit of early in the morning, I feel like, and Vietnam is playing literally at the midnight. So they're on opposite sides of the world, basically.
So being at the opposite sides of the world doesn't really look like both of them are just letting down any single bit. I think the biggest difference here is really just Chidon Gaming and Kokomi's difference. But other than that, the difference is literally nothing much right now.
I mean, I guess Lon did have trying to battle it out with Yuka's accuracy in terms of LNs, but literally the bottom row is what makes the biggest difference in terms of accuracy. They're consistent, but it's just lower bit on the Chilean side.
The biggest problem here is I've noticed that the Chilean side on the bottom row has been a little bit shaky when the patterns start to get more timing signature like dependent. Like the timing hell as patterns. I can tell Bambi FNF's been getting a lot of 200s there. But honestly, Vietnam as a whole has been a little bit
Oh
shaky.
wow,
Oh,
Muka!
Yuki finds the first miss. I mean, I can't really blame Yuchi because that part is really hard to be consistent on.
Yeah, but you can win a drop, which makes it kind of taking its toll since Civilian dropped a 200 on or a little bit on the left hand bias releases, but nothing too major.
Yeah, I mean, Vietnam is very consistent right now. And honestly, it would take so much more than just like a one drop for this to shift. And this break section is no joke at all. This still requires a lot of timing signature, timing hell focus really. Because you do see a mix of longer LNs and shorter ones, which I think is detrimental. But as I say that, Vietnam
Oh
finds a
wow!
drop. Oh my god, it's actually getting so close. And this is the most shaky part, because the nerves are gonna increase.
Ever so slightly, it's just 1,000 point. It's just literally 1,000 point difference. It's just very close for what is. Oh,
Oh my
Civilian takes another
goodness!
drop right there.
Yeah, but Chile cannot afford any mistake. This last part still features a lot of patterns, which really varies on the LNs. And despite all that, Chile is gonna be taking this, I hope. And they do!
I mean,
But it was
wow.
that. But Vietnam did not drop without a fight. Two 200s, two
That
misses from Yuchi. I think that's the top scores the whole lobby, by the way.
that's two 200s and still the MVP with a miss, two misses. I would add.
insane scores all around. The fact that the lowest score in this lobby is a 975k, that just goes to show how good players are nowadays. And like this really requires you to be able to hit long notes with various timing signatures really, as I've said.
Although, I mean, this is not a comfortable pick by any means. This might have been a bad pick if Chile does mess up quite a few bits, but I mean, fortunately, the other two players are fine with it.
I have to say though, I have to give major props to the bottom two Chilean players for really putting on their backs and helping the whole team gain their first point. This is a very important one. Like getting the first point and first pick after all the pressure,
Oh,
really good.
they're going with enemy.
I actually just noticed this, but speaking of SV, there's literally zero SV bans here, and I don't know if this is the first time you've seen that.
I believe it was kind of. I mean, there were not that many SV bans really. It's just either or not both. So with leaving out of these open it's just the 2 free points if you're sure that the other team doesn't practice that much.
Yeah, practice is very important. Um, Tokiyume and Vixile are very good SV players on their own. And we all know how good Lot is, am I right? So, the biggest question here from Chile is will they be able to top whatever Vietnam does? And I really hope they know what they're doing here.
I mean, I feel like Laud has been like a very proficient in SVs. I mean, in terms of SV SE2 performance, it shows definitely. It's in the top four at the very least. So I'm not too concerned by Vietnam's ability to handle SVs in general.
Well, we'll have to see first.
All right, we'll see what happens here for uh, picking the first SV pick just right off the bat for Vietnam. I, I mean, they would have been like practice a whole ton to make sure that this gets picked.
I honestly think picking SV this early is a little bit detrimental. Cause like let's say Vietnam wins this convincingly, right? If Vietnam does win this convincingly, then I'm not sure if this is a good pick because like you could have
Well,
maybe saved this for the more crucial moments of the match.
well, I mean, it doesn't seem like Chile has a good time either with this, so I just assume that pretty okay with Vietnam picking this now.
I mean, I guess what's Nyawa doing? Like just quad. I mean, to be fair, I did that as well a while ago on the match, but it's working. Right here we go.
I mean, it does. To some extent you can just quant like the very first 200 nodes. I mean, it's just so far enough that the nodes doesn't really count as an SV.
That is fair. Although a 70,000 point early on, I'm not sure if that's something you catch on to. Though Vixal and Tokiyume being very good backups to Lot, who has a 99.83 right now. And now here we go with the very fast teleports. This one has varying stops, and I think despite that, for the most part, teams have been consistent on that one part alone.
Yeah, well, I mean, if given Law doesn't flinch on any of these teleports, you would, I guess it's just safe to say that Vietnam has this now. I just don't think it would be easy to come back for Chile. And yeah, like that, Chile just misread the entire trail by Sand there.
Yep, and Yuchi also finding a drop. Unfortunate, but it happened.
Yeah, it's literally, Lot literally doesn't flinch. I mean, you just would expect that SVSE top performer like that just doesn't really care about them. Ah, okay, you missed that.
Well, I can't really blame them though. This is a really hard pattern. like LNs and SVs, of course it's gonna be difficult. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as Vietnam will take this point. But I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they had a lot of a much better practice score. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you take the point. Am I right?
Oh, that's an omni flag. I would explain what an omni flag is. It's literally getting everything a one, except for the perfect count or the 300s. It's literally all ones.
I've actually never heard. I've actually never heard of that term, so it's interesting to hear what an omni flag is.
Yeah, but I mean, well fought for Chile to try to make, to try to suppress the score difference from SV, but unfortunately, it's pretty much inevitable when you see the intro being such a hassle to practice on. But it's really no harm done because it's Vietnam's pick, anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is fair. So Chile, I think, has to go with Bambi and Kokomi. Not surprised there. So Vietnam going with Vixile? Huh. Interesting. Because I don't know, personally speaking, I think it would be better to have someone like Chidon than Vixile. Because, like, I have a feeling Chidon is more comfortable on a map like this.
Well, I mean, it's not Pixel's not there anymore, but I'm kind of sure that it would be either Trito. But I mean, we'll still have to see regardless. I feel like this. I think probably some people would probably disagree with me, but I think Kanahiori or the Lemon Guy Ellen, it just more akin to like you would play along the inverse. It's just this the different kind of style, but it's kind of plays like the same as the like Super Nego, I think, to me.
I mean, it's a different style, so I think it plays a little differently. Like, I'm more comfortable on a map like this than Super Nuko, though, that's for sure. Although, yeah, I mean, there it is. Chidon Gaming is coming in. I guess it shouldn't be surprised, really. Because, like, Chidon is really good at those kinds of long runs, really.
Yeah, all right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess Chile wasn't really has the best of the like Ellen's score as a team. I mean, it just doesn't look as convincingly because of the Lemming Ming as the pick. It doesn't really say much. Like a 2,000 less than 2,000 point score difference. It's just dangerous to see.
I mean, I get that it's, like, a very close win, but I guess the mindset is a win anyway. And if you pick the Rice, which you don't really have any information on, then it would have probably been more risky if at least if I was on the Chilean side of planning things.
Well, I mean, I just think of it as the opposite, really, because I would actually suppose that Chile is actually much better at the rice department than LNs. I mean, not to say that their LNs are bad. It's just like you would prioritize more on the rice more than anything.
Yeah, but currently though, everyone having really good accuracy,
Well,
but Ryuichi's gonna be the first one to drop. Oh, what's going on with? Well, it's still very early in the map, so I don't think it should really matter too much, and it should definitely not affect the board too much. Again, as I've been saying, as right now Vietnam actually has the accuracy advantage, and Chidon trades one back. Not to mention accuracy lead is going to Muchi there.
Well, I mean, Yuka did drop after the 400 on the second drop, so it does hurt a little bit. Tradoan has a clean drop, so doesn't really. Well, I mean, I always say that's a clean drop, but not anymore. Actually, taking it back to Chile now.
Yeah, the advantage goes back to Chile. So this is what I was saying when Chile shouldn't be worried too much. As Chidon finds some drops here. And now Sevilla and Lot holding on the fort. But Chile also has Bambi and as I say though, Bambi trades one back. So the lead is going to be really close. I actually don't know if this goes to Vietnam, but it does seem to be in the turn.
It does, but actually Muka going back to 99.85 completely after this set 2 drops.
Wow,
you would never normally see 99.85 after 2 drops.
And not to mention, Sevilla finding drops shots on the anchors. Oh, that was a very messy one. But Bambi have trade some. Those anchors really have been making some players miss, but I cannot blame them. Looks like the point actually goes to Chile after all.
That's also still a dangerous pick. Like I would say, 158 on 300s. That's just stupid.
Wait. 158 on a map like this? Oh my! I think Kokomi does take the MVP though. So this is what we're talking about when we say that this is a team tournament. It is everyone's job to put in the work and put in what they had to do.
I mean, I guess in fairness, this is literally plays like an inverse. I mean, inverse is like the easiest thing to act if you have the bearings for it. But again, 158 on the semifinals is not normal.
Normally, you'd see that in like what a chord jack or something like that. But not on LN.
Well, I mean, that's still a dangerous point for Chile. I would never call that a comfortable pick by any means. Yeah, would be Vietnam's turn to pick. I expect Showdown to come up instantly, maybe after that.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I just think Vietnam has to pick. But that was
what?
SB1. But that was SB1.
Oh, two. I mean, yeah, I mean, well,
alright.
We get some things mixed up, so I think it would be Showdown as their second pick. Not envy again. Not in a literal sense, not in a literal term, but it's gonna be a Showdown.
I mean, we have to see first how well. We have to see first how well Chile does in this though.
I mean, Muka has some trouble on actually keeping up to date with some of the maps in the pool. You would expect the maps to be in date, but not really because of the annoying update to the last version of the maps. I mean, hopefully this is sorted out, but I feel like instead of Vixile for Vietnam, it's not Trito.
Well, I mean, see, teams could have like some players practice one SV and then the other. So I get what Vietnam is trying to do here, and I think that is a very effective strategy. Because like at least it lets players focus on something that's more suited to their skill set.
Yeah, I'm just crossing my fingers since the Vietnam has a commanding lead in terms of SV, especially with that kind of roster. I mean, LNSV roster, I would say, but nevertheless, it would still be a rather formidable roster for that kind of SV team. Outside of Japan, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we know how good Japan is at SV, right?
I mean, so far it does look like they're catching up a fair bit. Just a few 200s on the intro. Nothing too major.
Yeah, but it does look like Chile actually practiced the SV this time. So it's an interesting side, and this is where the hard parts really start to appear. But it looks like everyone practiced once again, and even with the long jack, no one's missing on the long jack, so that alone is very impressive. But we do see some misses from Nyawa here.
This is the first time I've seen Yuka actually taking out a lot in this case.
Yeah, I mean, at least compared to the previous SV, this looks like something Chile could take something off of if Vietnam ends up finding a drop here or there.
Okay, I mean, this is still like a 40,000 point lead for Vietnam, but even so, it's just a matter of a different different types of accuracy. 99 on average against low 99 average for Chile because of the 98s.
Very good job for the players on the top row, but it's really the bottom row players that I think has been making the difference. And I say that Miao Wa finds another miss.
Yeah, still very, I mean, very decisive win for what it is right now. SV has been there, but for Vietnam, but unfortunately, there's only 2 SV picks, so they would have to resort to something else after this.
Well, I don't think it should really matter again, because that was Vietnam's pick, right? So, like, at the end of the day, even if Chile lost this, I don't think they should be in sad or worse spirits after that.
Well, this is Chile's turn now. Chile has 2 more LNs, but although I'm just hoping that they would not pick more LNs from this, because the other 2 is very is very close in terms of difference. I just don't think it's the brightest idea to pick that straight away.
Well, we have to see first. I think Chile may have to go for.
Again, oh god.
Oh, they're going for nostalgia.
I I just don't know what to say about this because Chile have been picking all the LNs here. It just seemed kind of the theme here, but it's just very close in proximity in terms of difference. I just don't think it's the correct to me.
I think it's correct, personally. If you think about it, like, Chile has been winning points off of LNs, and I think that's the most important part. As long as they're winning points, I think it should not be too bad. But wait, Vixile getting in here, huh?
I mean, so far, if it works, it does work. Just saying that there might be a better option than this, I guess.
I mean, again, there may be better options here, but I just really want Chile to pick something that they know they'll get points on. But look at this interesting change of lineup. We're seeing Vixile in the Vietnamese side instead of someone like CPT Sibelia. I think what Vietnam's going for here is the overall consistency. Remember, Sevilla, I believe, dropped like 7 misses on the Lemon Guy LN, so it makes sense that they're going for someone like Vixile here. But the question is, can Vixile keep that consistency that Vietnam desperately needs in order to make or break, take something off of Chile?
I mean, this does seem to work a bit. I guess in the first few notes of the intro, but nothing stand out that much.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is still the start. There are so many difficult LN patterns, especially with how fast this map is. It is around 220 BPM. And with the numerous LNs here, it's definitely gonna be no slouch.
Boy, actually, it's kind of a tug of war. Actually, the 2 players from Vietnam is beating out 2 Chileans now. It's just a matter of lot against Muka.
I think, personally, it looks like Vietnam is starting to get a little bit more vulnerable in the accuracy side, because it's ridiculously close right now. And honestly, I don't know what, but something just feels like at any moment one of these players can mix in as a stage.
Yeah, there you go.
Bam VFNF finding a very bad rush, I think. They just got a little bit unstable. This is still a very winnable point though. However, time is running out. And right now, do you see these bursts here? Like, those bursts can make your wrist unstable, and Kokomi again finds a drop.
Clean drop nonetheless from Kokomi. I just think that it's starting to get a little bit thin for Vietnam at least, because the top player, the top row is literally like trying to FC as hard as they can. The 202 players, there's the difference like that, like literally.
Wait a minute!
Actually, Vixile with
the lead is
drop right there. shrinking so fast. Actually, Lord is actually trying. It's very late.
Yeah, but Bambi trades it back. However, it shouldn't be too bad for Chile. But they really have to hope for Vietnam to find another break. Though Chi Don and Lot have been ridiculously consistent right now. And I think that should do it.
4,000.
We're going to be seeing a break point for the first time. Unless something happens. And that's it.
6,000 point. That's a break point for Vietnam. That's a crucial point to win against Chile on that particular pick, because I believe I do mention, because LNs are not safe picks for Chile, and Chile is trying to take the risk too much.
At the end of the day, I really have to applaud Chile because you gotta take risks at some point. And Mucci with the 994 really almost brought the team to victory there. Kokomi and Bambi FNF did a good job in holding that consistency for the most part. Like only having one common break for Kokomi and only one miss for Bambi FNF. Still a good job for all these players. But ultimately, Vietnam just had the better runs and they will be taking it. Though there is gonna be no more SV picks, so I don't think any pick from this one is safe.
Alright, I think I might grasp what Chile is doing, because exhausting LN might actually turn out to be better in the late game scenario. Because here's the thing. If Chile does pick the last LN pick, it's all just comes down to physicality at the later game. You would force to pick Rise, which Vietnam might get exposed to a little bit there.
I'd have to disagree actually, because if you think about it, Vietnam still has a lot of really good players in the physicality department. Though maybe you have a point, because I'm looking at remember Quasar Charge or Quasar Charge at least. I'd have to argue Quasar Charge is around the level of semifinals, and it looks like Chile actually has the better score than Vietnam here. So I guess that could work for Chile's favor.
Well, it just so happens that Chile has kind of a couple of few picks of her over there. So I just think that would work, since picking the last LN, that would just leave everything as Rise or Hybrid, which Vietnam doesn't really have much of a choice really, other than those Rise and Hybrids.
I mean, still, time is running. Like, they really have to make a decision as soon as possible, though. I'd say Vietnam maybe. Vietnam should avoid the I'm in no mood for this, though. Because I think that's not exactly the pick that they could be very consistent on. I think Vietnam just has a history on missing a lot when it comes to technical stuff.
I mean, the point about being is that the Vietnam, I think, especially we have to go resort to hybrids in that case, which doesn't seem to be that big of a pick, really.
I mean, let's just wait for the result, or at least the results of their strategizing right now, and from there we can judgment of how their picking strategy was.
Yeah, I mean, time doesn't really last too long, since 2 minute time we should probably pass out after that. It's going to be Make Dragon. Ooh, actually, it's all right, I guess. Could be better. Wait, is it actually Rise?
This is
Rise.
It's Rise 6. Rise 7 is. How do you even read that?
I'm just gonna call it the FFR charter because it's literally from FFR. I'm just not gonna bother pronouncing it anyways. It's just the FFR one.
How about the From song that is not the tiebreaker?
That's fair if you want to call it that, really.
You know what? No, I have the best name, the Mathoya map.
Well, Amatai is from FFR, so that counts.
Yeah, I'll just say the Mathoya map. But anyway, honestly, the thing about this is right. Like, what I think about this pick is, it really just feels like a lot of Nisemono from the previous round, especially with how the ending goes. Like, the speed really makes the difference here.
Well, I feel like given Nisemono is just it's just strictly it's not kind of the same style, almost the same style, but not much. It just well, if you just think that this is a Korjak hybrid, and then you just mix up the straight move, which makes it very backloaded for a pick like this. Maybe the backloaded this can help Vietnam in this case, but we
Yeah,
just have
that's
to
true.
wait to see.
Also, this is Vietnam's pick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is Vietnam's pick.
So, all right, just making sure. So once again, this is Vietnam's pick, and I think what makes this map really hard is, again, I did mention the stream part at the start, but oh, Magnificio finding a drop at the start immediately. Not a good not a good way to begin, but there is still a lot of opportunities. Really, it's only the beginning. But once again, there is 2 minutes of this map only, and now what trades one back?
And what trades one back? It's I think the drop might have been a bit more severe because it's just. I think the more combo you go, it just kind of gets more severe. But again, it's being traded against with Magnificio again.
Yeah, those trades are really helping Chile gain the point back, and not to mention Sibelia trades one back on the technical parts. Though this lead is not safe by any means. The real challenge starts from here, really.
I mean, this is just Korjak again. It's Korjak after Korjak, and it's a little kind of bit of a burst, but it really Mirka doesn't really flinch on that. It's still 99.97.
My goodness. This is like Korjak with technical patterns thrown to each other. The rolls and the bursts not affecting anyone. Still a 14,000 point lead for Chile. This is not safe by any means. We've seen very big comebacks this whole tournament, and Chile can definitely make something happen. They can make a statement if they take this break point off of Vietnam. But as I've said, this lead is not safe. Chidon really trying to pull this team together ahead. But there's still a lot of time for things to happen. This is where the real
Alright.
challenge starts.
You can't really call it over until you get to the stream patterns.
Yeah, here we go. The Korjaks really, everyone's just destroying it. And now the stream patterns are starting. The lead's starting to get bigger for Chile. Oh my goodness, everyone's still consistent. Even with the different anchors. Wait, oh, that's a trade. And Chile's gonna take the break point off of Vietnam.
That's a trade. That's a trade at the 50.
Oh my god. 50. Wait, look at this. If Nyawa and Zan got the FC, they would have gotten almost the exact same score.
How do you even get a 58 on this pick? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Man. Like, this pick has so many streams that just really throw you off. And we just see a 58 casually from Yuchi here. What a wonderful performance. Both teams really put up a fight there, but just what good performances from Chile here. So Vietnam takes one break point. Chile takes a break point back.
I mean, I think this is what Chile was hoping for. Really, I feel not saying that their LN picks are. I think the LN picks being picked was intended. I think it was just to really exhaust any other options for Vietnam. Really.
That's true. Okay, just to make sure that the audience doesn't get confused, Dillinger Escape was not selected, but the From's Tagon map, that was Vietnam's selection. Well. We apologize for some technical issues that have happened, but at the end of the day, isn't it nice that we are back and we get to see how Chile versus Vietnam is once again? So, just for a recap, I'm Solo Vasquez, and joining me is going to be Mifa again. Hi, Mifa.
Yeah, hello. We do like to apologize for the bit of a technical issue that was happened back then. We still have a match going on. We have a quite a bit of pick to go left. Although we didn't really miss much since we after after the blackout from the stream, really just have one pick that was picked. I think it was like Matt Silver by I think it was picked by Chile. Although they lost, so it makes a break point for Vietnam, and now Vietnam's picking this Hollywood Squares for the right six, and it does seem to be a good decision for Vietnam right here.
Yeah, and this is actually one of oh, that's a random miss from Sibelia, but I don't think it should matter. This is one of Vietnam's most comfortable victories we've seen yet, and I think Magnifesto and Zan, the only two FCs in the lobby, very impressive performances from both players, and ultimately Vietnam is now on pace to getting the 5-3, and Mucci with a 78-300 on this. What is like this is a very technical map already on its own, and they get to put that kind of score.
All right, Chile is resorting to the last LN. There's no more LNs after this. Although I would say that mid silver wasn't such a bright idea to be picked by Chile, but I guess it's to be expected because Korjak sometimes if you do not get it, then you don't get it. And that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chile is just really going for the Ellens now. They did win 2 of their 3 points on the long note side, so I can see why they're choosing this. Blampiaf, NF, and Kokomi have been amazing backups. Chile really are probably wanting to go for picks like this, so they could test the waters on the long note department, and I think this is the best course of action, really.
Yeah, it would be interesting to. I mean, I think it might be that Vietnam was probably gonna stay on the Rice lane because I feel like Hollywood Square was a kind of a big win. I think it's like a 45,000 points of difference. It's actually quite a lot from than anything else on the other picks. So it would seem to be the best idea to go for that, but I wouldn't call it a total win. They're just some outliers in the Rice picks.
It is fair. It is fair, in my opinion. Okay, so I think Vietnam's actually going for Vixel once again. Vixel has been a great addition to the Vietnamese team, and like, gotta give them props because they've really stepped up on the picks, on a lot of the picks here. And here we go once again. I think the thing about density picks nowadays is like they tend to be very geared towards who gets the 200 counts less, but you gotta make sure your ratio is still good enough.
And of course, you don't miss, or else your score is not going to be as good anymore. So it's just kind of the thing where semifinals, people do tend to get misses every now and then, but you don't realize it's actually going to hurt your score even more if you don't resort to getting the worst possible outcome on the judgment.
Well, we do have to see first who is going to be the third player on the Vietnamese side.
I think it's going to be Vixal. I think Vixal is going to be invited in to the turning time once after. Or I think it would be Sibelia, actually. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it is going to be Sevilla. I mean, Sevilla is a very consistent LN density player, which makes a lot of sense to me. But the 200 counts is going to be the one that determines it all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Sibelia. I mean, Sibelia did play like the other two islands. I think it was the Lemon Guy Islands, and then we got another one which is also the other outlier, which doesn't like Lemming Ming. I think it was, which I think they also missed on like twice over that. So kind of not that bad, but I do feel Sevilla needs to get their consistency game up. You really don't want to miss here because of how straightforward it is.
Well, right now though, the biggest question here is fatigue really. Like remember, these two teams are playing on different sides of the world here. And especially with the time this late, I would be expecting some fatigue to already show up on the Vietnamese side. But it doesn't look like they're falling off a single bit. Chile, however, has really been keeping up with the Vietnam's team as well. So overall, these density could really shift if one of these teams ends up getting tired mid-map, and I can see that happening if you're not careful.
It's straightforward as it is for like the hand stream or the jump stream LNs, but it's just a matter of 200s. And I mean, they do keep their consistency check on the 200 count, which doesn't seem to appear too much. But again, if you don't battle for the 200 count, you go for the ratio, which I think Chile is trying to go for here. Might be riskier, but at the same time, you just don't want really to have any gauge on how Vietnam is going to come back from this.
Yeah, time is running out. However,
oh wow,
the good thing is it's just ridiculously close right now. Only around the 100 points for the feud part. But I think some 200s from Sevilla and Lot, and as I say that, drop happened.
There you go.
This is the fatigue I was talking about this whole time. Kokomi and Bambi FNF have been really stepping up on the accuracy department, and of course, Muchi being Muchi right now. So, Lot and Chidon have a lot to work on as the supporting cast of Chile has been so consistent right now.
Although I wouldn't really count it because this is the last quarter of the chart. As far as I think the ratio goes, Kokomi and Yuka is doing fine. The 200 count from Bambi is a little bit worrying, but not too major. Lot finding the drop there.
I mean, you can't really blame them. This is a very trill-heavy map, especially for the LN side, and I can't really blame anyone for finding some drops. This performance with... Oh, wait a second! Muchi finding a drop, but I think it's a little too late unless another drop happens on the Chile side. Oh, wait a second!
It's another one, but I don't think it's actually gonna change that much.
Oh, I got really nervous when I saw those two drops. But there it is, Chile. What is the ratio from Muchi? Literally almost 1:10. But that's about it. Those were the chances Vietnam had, but unfortunately, Chile is going to take it.
Yeah, Kokomi doing most of the heavy lifting in terms of score, 991. Even with the ratio is almost just like a one and a half of the Mukas. But really, 8200s is still very good. Try to end with 9 too, which is also very good. I do think that might be... There's no LNs, that is for sure. Vietnam has to resort in either hybrids or the other 3 picks, which is also the rice one. But I don't know about that. I don't know about picking Terminal 11 all of a sudden.
I don't know, I think Terminal 11's a bad pick. Because like, if you win the Mathaya map, I think the Halogen map should also be something that could favor you, I think. I would think so, at least.
I mean, you would have to think that Hollywood Squares was also by Yuka, Sen, and Yawa, and Yawa was struggling the most out of the 3. That kind of gives you a little bit of insight on how Vietnam's path gonna go to, but it's really just like what, like best of 3 scenario after that.
Well, Vietnam is really taking their time right now, and okay, thinking of you, I mean, we know how good Muchi is on maps like that, like the jump stream and the hand stream side of things. But I don't know if Vietnam should pick this. Manifesto is really good at stamina, but I think it's the misses really. It really just boils down to who misses more in this kind of map.
272 BPM for this kind of thing is a no joke, especially with how traily this is. I mean, one hand traily, I would say, not just really traily at best. Although Bambi is now taking over the Nyawa, which might be a good thing because of I feel given how late game this is, I think most people are gonna be a bit fatigued out of all of this the picks.
Yeah, fatigue really is going to matter a lot on something like this. And once again, Vietnam still taking their time to get their third player. I would think it's going to be Sevilla, actually. Lock, maybe? But I think Sevilla is the right call on a map like this.
I mean, for whoever was on Vietnam, I don't think Lot would catch up for like the more of the physically demanding ones, like the jump spin, like 272. 272 with also with a 100-handed trailer pad is, I think it's probably just a little bit too much to ask for.
Although, on a side note, just have to say though, yeah, I don't know what's happening right now. Like, who do you think should be Vietnam's last player? I think it should be Sevilla. Like, absolutely has to be Sevilla, right?
I'm just not sure anymore because if Lusk able to do 272 BPM jump stream, then I think it should be fine. I'm just concerned more so in the longer run if it doesn't happen to Vietnam losing a point.
Well, if Lot is comfortable in a map like this, then I think Lot would be. I guess it's a last second decision, but I really hope this is the. I really hope that they're on the right call here.
All right. Once we get the players to start, really, because I think it's probably getting late for Vietnam. I know that feeling way too well when it's already past midnight. But regardless, we'll see how it goes. All
Anyway,
right, we'll see here because this is a tricky one to gauge how these players will perform on more of the physically demanding ones. So, I mean, especially on jump stream, it's consistent jump stream with that. And again,
I
a lot
think
already doing the drop already.
I think something interesting here is we don't see players like Seika or Nyawa or a pick like this. I would expect Seika to actually play this, not gonna lie. But I guess Sam and Bambi are very good players here. On the Rice department for jump streams at least. And of course, Muchi, we know how consistent Muchi is on this kind of map.
I mean, we just don't talk about 99.99 already, right? Alright, we just focus on actually Vietnam struggling a little bit. I mean, not struggling, I just probably a couple of mishaps. Oh, Bambi! Actually really tanking with a 99% below that.
And right
Actually,
now,
ooh, actually, it's getting a little bit worse actually for Where, even though with all Vietnam's combo gone, with Lot actually taking the honor area C actually.
yeah, I mean, this is still not that far off of the difference, honestly. Like, any more mistakes Chile would make, this could still swing back to Vietnam. But ultimately, Ochi Don finds another drop, however. Zan, Muchi, and Bambi have been pushing this really hard. Magnifection with another drop, and another one. Muchi and Zan have been pulling this weight on their own right now, and Bambi's been a great support.
I mean, I just don't think that this is pretty much recoverable for now. With Manifesto dropping several times, Trado and dropping like twice, Lot actually dropping only on the first 50 notes. Oh, Shen actually trading on with Lot, though not surprisingly. It's just the score difference is actually way too high now for even to catch up. And we don't talk about Muka getting 99.98 actually for this kind of pick.
Oh my goodness. What an insane performance from Yuchi.
That's like
I
what,
mean,
9993? 9993?
995 or 6, I'd assume.
9993. Yeah, yeah,
993, you're
there
right,
is.
you're right, right. 993. What is
That
that
is
performance?
33. Okay.
Oh my god. 33 perfects. Alright.
Mika's just way leagues above everyone else. I just don't know how. How do you cut? That's like 10% of the 300s of the entire player in the lobby. I mean, I guess apart from Shriderman, but which is the best, the second best ratio.
I mean, that is true, but right now, it's a tie, and I think a timeout was the best decision to make here. Absolutely the correct move. This is a high pressure situation right now, and I think Chile has. I don't know what Chile should pick. They could either go for Libidinem, or honestly, I'm in no mood for this, I would say.
I mean, I would go Saraba immediately after that.
I have
This
no.
is the this is the best time to fatigue Vietnam even more.
I just have a bad feeling because, like, if they pick Saraba, they're risking onto what I think Magnifestio's strongest skill set is. I've seen Magnifestio's speed, and certainly it is nothing to be scoffed at.
All right. I mean, the thing is that Vietnam already exhausted their potentially the strongest skills. I mean, their potential stronger picks. I don't think Saraba is good. Ivan Nomer for this is definitely way too risky to be picked on, especially it's already in a best of three scenario, and the hybrids are untouched, and Vietnam's banning one of them. It's only a matter of time where Chile has to go with Saraba immediately. I just don't think hybrid is the best choice.
I mean, remember, I think Chile did protect Libidnem, right? Oh,
Oh,
alright.
going straight with it. Oh, oh, I just don't like this. Not necessarily a bad pick. It's just in the same risk as I'm in no mood for this.
I mean, to be fair to Chile, though, again, Saraba would have been a weird pick either way.
I just don't know about that one because I feel like Saraba would have been a better choice to me. And Kokomi is going back in, and Kokomi in general has been doing fantastic on LNs, but this one is different. This is a different approach to how you would approach LNs. You would have to play as physically as you can, and also hit the LNs as you would intend it to be.
And alright, so I don't know who's gonna play this now. But something tells me Vixile and like
Sevilla,
the choice between Vixile and Sevilla playing this will make a difference, in my opinion. Sevilla is a very good player when it comes to these kinds of hybrids, so I'm not surprised. But the question I've been asking this whole time has been consistency. And we have really yet to see who's the more consistent one in the hybrids.
I think this would more in line you would see in most last year's hybrids. I guess I think it was Abraxas, like Testify kind of style, or even Arca. I don't think Arca you would call it a hybrid that much. I think it's more geared towards LN. But regardless, it's the same akin to how you would approach that in terms of hybrids. This one is just different. How you would actually play this in a tournament setting.
Well, we have to see first for ourselves. Let's see if this protect was worth it. It seems like it's one of the most lowest scoring maps I've seen, really, in general.
Well,
Because
I
like
mean,
this,
I guess it's to be expected because how wackiest the snaps are, especially when the LN release comes into play.
I can tell. Hmm. Well, let's see first.
Yeah,
And
Kokomi's having a bit of trouble with accuracy here. Not by much because Law's already at the same level as Kokomi. Well, Kokomi already missed there.
I'm honestly not surprised that Kokomi has been getting this. Though I'm expecting, like, not exactly the highest scores in general, as Sevilla also finds a drop. Trading it with
Hey,
Kokomi and
doing?
Shidon adds to that. This map has a lot of mini jacks and like long jacks in general, so I'm not surprised to see many people making misses here. This is a risky pick, if you can call it one, but I think it's the right risk so far. As with these patterns, this could really force Vietnam to make mistakes here and there.
4K is just very small for what it is until this halfway point. But again, the LN releases are just so hectic to see. Even with the smallest bit of 200s, Kokomi dropping a lot of 200s on the LN releases already. This is still 4,000. This is still around 4,000 points. It's a make or break, but Muka.
Miuchi finds the drop on the break section. I mean, it's still their leader now. But hey, I mean, on the bright side, this is not the. There are still a lot of difficult patterns on this map. So
everyone's staring at the score. Fatal one, actually, fatal mistake.
That really gave the blessing to Chile right there. That really saved the score difference. Yuki is now back to the 400 combo card, and soon Chidon will be as well. It doesn't help that Chile. It doesn't help that Lost made two
missing. There's no FCs remaining, only Bambi's left, and with also Muka's backing it up with 99.83, even with the drop.
Very good score there for Bambi. Absolutely carrying the consistency when it's needed the most. Vietnam did a really good job, but ultimately Chile is going to take this victory. And what a fight that was! That
is not right. That just has no right to be this good, especially when you're near 990, even with a miss.
Can we like give Bambi the props for an amazing FC though? Like that FC saved Chile from getting the point. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Alright, this is the only pick for Vietnam to make, and this is a crucial one because there's only 3 left, and Vietnam has to pick one of them, and those are not looking good as a choice. Even though I feel like Saraba is, I don't think Saraba, they won't go Saraba, I don't think. Probably the other hybrid, I would feel.
I think Vietnam should go for Saraba at this point. Personally.
I just don't think that. I just think that's the worst possible pick to make here for Vietnam. I don't know really for what Vietnam's gonna go with. I know in a position where Vietnam already took their timeout, they will not have another timeout for this.
Okay.
Alright, it is hybrid too. Okay. That's probably the best possible pick to make for Vietnam right now. Because I know Saraba has not been the best for Vietnam, especially with Manifesto. Seems to be a little bit more fatigued. And now I think this is the best one they could make.
I just think it's a very bold move. Like, you're going to be picking hybrid after you lose a hybrid? That's an interesting strategy to me. Usually, if your team loses a pick in the same category, you want to avoid the maps in that category specifically.
I mean, if you bring the right possible players for Vietnam, Vietnam can take this to tiebreaker, and bringing up Hall for us to watch. But again, Chile has been a little bit shaky into the highway. Not in the shaky in the sense of they would miss. The 200 count is actually a little bit worse than Vietnam, I think.
I mean, still tiny. I mean, Vietnam. I've been noticing something about Vietnam. I don't know if you would agree with this, Mifa, but the mere fact that Vietnam is taking a little bit of time to make their decision on the players playing tells me that they're a little bit unconfident with some of their rosters, and I think that's a bad thing. I don't know if you'll agree with that observation. I've been seeing the whole map.
I mean, apart from the fact that this is also very late for Vietnam to make, this is just not a comfortable time to making sure that they would actually play to their strongest form. This is already like what 1 a.m. for Vietnam almost.
No,
And
it would
this
be
is
it would be 11:46 p.m. But that's still very late.
it's still very late, but again, that's just how very fatigued the Vietnamese are. In a sense that you would have to face Chile in a life or death scenario, especially because this is a losers bracket. Although you will see what comes after this. If Vietnam wins, then we're gonna go see Hall.
Man, if you want to see Hall being played, you better chat your support onto, well, the Twitch chat. You better show your support to Vietnam. But if you want to see Chile win, also throw your support for them. Everyone hates that vibro part. I call it the vibro part. I don't care what anyone says.
Kokomi takes the first drop there. I mean, understandably so because of the shields. Another one actually.
Another drop from Kokomi. Unfortunate, but it looks like Vietnam has the window of opportunity right now. Exactly what the team needs, but this is 3 minutes long. Look at lots of accuracy though. Ultimately, it's a little bit behind both Yuchi and Bambi FNF, which is what's giving Chile still the opportunity. The long jack has been held by everyone so far.
Yeah, Vietnam needs to hold on because I think Lee shrunk because of the sheer accuracy by the other two players. Although Lot is gaining back up slowly but surely. Bambi, the second person to drop.
And right now, Vietnam's holding everything they can. Exactly what's nice to see from the Vietnamese side.
Although they
Now-
can't rest because 9,000 points is still not a lot.
Indeed, it's still not a lot. What is going on right now? I'm really nervous. This is the break section, and I'm honestly really nervous. My heart has been shaking a lot. Can Vietnam secure it?
Low jack,
Oh, no!
Kokomi!
Kokomi
Kokomi
wants
dropping
to drop.
twice! Kokomi dropping twice on the long jack.
Oh my goodness, that long jack really destroyed Chile's lead in there, and oh my god, time is really running out.
Lot is actually struggling. 3-1 takes the first drop on the Vietnamese side. Lot is actually dropping a little bit in terms of accuracy. He's trying their best to keep combo, but I feel like this lead is strong to nothing. Lot dropping there, 5,000 points of difference.
It's really shrinking rapidly, and I think it's still about to shrink. These LN plus trills and the rise path with throw active has been affecting Vietnam a lot. It's
2,000
in
is
the
actually shrunk. It's actually shrunk now. Yuka's trying their best to get a 99.88.
It's on the hands of CPT Civilian right now. Vietnam cannot afford any mistakes. These
There's
long
only last stretch Bambi.
These
There's
rules-
only one place left. Remaining 5,000 points is now back on. Vietnam is trying their best to get one last breath to get to the tiebreaker, and I think they will do.
The mini jacks. Let's see if Vietnam can hold on. These mini jacks are not easy, and they will hold on. It's going to be a tiebreaker. Oh my god, another one.
That is for sure a tiebreaker to see. Vietnam will have another life to see the tiebreaker at the end of this match. And Muka with a black flag, 13-1, is not enough to do the heavy lifting from Chile. And again, we're gonna see it's the second time Hall being picked as a tiebreaker.
Oh my goodness. What? I am in shock right now. What is just happening?
This is going to be something that I think Chile and Vietnam will have no clue whatsoever on how they're gonna take the density of this chart. Hall is just all about composure. If you keep your composure to the end, you basically carry a lot of the lifting from them. And I think they're probably going to be discussing on who's going to be playing for the roster. I would believe if it's literally a life and death for both of these teams now. They're just on the Hall tiebreaker.
Can I just say, it makes me happy that Hall is being played. Like, isn't this a custom for this tournament?
Yeah, it does. It is a custom and also original custom song for Mania World Cup 4Key 2023. So it just doesn't have a bit of a symbolic resemblance of how it would take as a tiebreaker for semifinals. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna happen for the next tiebreakers, but it will be interesting to see how it actually pans out for for most of us, really. And again, I think they're probably gonna be discussing it for for the roster for the three players for both teams. I think probably Chile is probably settling in with the same roster: Kokomi, Bambi, and Muka. And Vietnam is probably going to be keeping the same. I think Sevelia traded one lot.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think it should be Sevilla Lot, Chidon, and for Chile, I think it should be Yuchi, Bambi, and Kokomi.
Alright, the signal has been started. We're going to see tiebreak in all of its glory for the second time. I also want to reiterate for in the Twitch chat, do give your support for both of these teams. For who are you rooting for? One of these teams will get to move on and advance to face, I think it's Indonesia.
Wait, what? Wait, what? I think the Philippines is gonna win this, I guess? Did it just say Indonesia? I don't know. Okay, but anyways. Anyways.
Oh God, what is happening?
A lot of misses from both sides. It's only Chidon and Muchi keeping the combos right now. Oh my goodness. What? Wait,
Civilians are falling apart.
Is that accuracy from Sevilla, really?
Yuka still on the 99.83 run. I mean, never mind.
Everyone
missing.
has been missing. Chidon is the only one keeping the combo. I saw that one mini jack and very impressive combo holding from Chidon Gaming.
Bambi falling off 97 actually.
Wait, Chidon also fighting. That's a lot of misses on Chidon. Sevilla as well. Oh my god. The entirety of Vietnam is under the 99 mark. Oh, and here we go with the polyrhythm. Kokomi and Bambi missing and dropping. Oh my god.
Below 98 for Bambi and Kokomi. Bambi's taking a severe hit on the accuracy on the Ellen wall, literally.
Still not over yet though. Vietnam, like, I have to be honest right now, this is still a winnable lead, especially considering with how I think there's so many doors for opportunity, but Kokomi finding another drop. Chidon and Lot have done a great job going back to the 99 range. But Sevilla really has to increase that to secure this lead, because this lead is not safe by any means.
This is still a 99 range. And it's literally anybody's game until you get to see more misses coming from any sides, really.
And Lot finding a drop. That's exactly what Chile reads right now. Chidon and Sevilla have been pillars of consistency. So has Muchi been really right now.
No,
Never mind.
not much. Not much, because I think it's a miss right there, trading out actually by a lot. But again, I mean, I think the draws by Bambi and Kokome were severe enough to get a 10,000 point lead like you see now for Vietnam.
But Sevilla finding that drop. These drops on the Ellens, I think, could really give Chile a chance. And it's actually shrinking a little bit. It's shrinking little by little. But Chile needs absolutely more than that. But
I'm so concerned about the ending of this chart, because I think this is what Vietnam really needs to call their composure on, even though with Bambi completely misreads something on the LNs there. Another, actually, 0.3% drop from Bambi there.
But Lot finding a couple of drops. These density patterns have really only been affecting 2 players so far. We see 4 players holding the consistency. I'm not gonna lie though, this lead from Vietnam is actually shrinking, but as they say that, Bambi finding another drop. And now we're reaching the right section. Chidon. That was 2,000. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Actually.
That could be like around 4,000 points of lead shaved off from the Vietnamese side. So this is going to get closer as the map progresses. Kokomi and Miuchi have done an outstanding job at holding this combo. Sevilla is the only significant one we've seen on the Vietnamese side. Lot and Chidon have made a good recovery. As I say that, Lot finds him. That's a very bad miss from Lot.
I can see Lot is getting fatigued right now. He's dropping lots more. I think it's below 98.7. Even though Bambi with a trade right there, the score lead is shrinking now to below 10k.
But Bambi FNF finally drop kind of puts Vietnam back in that position. Miuchi's doing everything they can to increase to give Chile a chance. But Kokomi has been once again the pillar of consistency that Chile absolutely needs, and now we're at the right section. No misses here.
We're at the right section. This is what I'm concerned the most about the ending section, because Vietnam is gonna not have it. It's gonna have it this rough, really.
And yet, with Bambi FNF finding another drop, it's starting to get faster and faster and faster. These long notes mixed with the rice could really. That's a big drop. That's a massive drop from Chidon, but Chile needs absolutely much more than that. Lot and Sevilla have been pushing this really hard.
Getting shrunk ever so slowly, 8.5k to this at this very little bit of an interlude to the bigger sections coming up. It's still like 1 more minute remaining on this time, and this is the time that Chile needs to recover, and they need to recover big time and make sure Vietnam's not getting any breather at this.
No, but Bambi FNF finding a drop. These one-hand mini-jacks, I would call this a one-hand mini-jacks, can really affect your score if you're not careful.
Sevilla! That is it!
Those were huge shots.
That's what I was talking about! Literally! That's what I was talking about here!
We don't find the drop, but they're traded back immediately! And here we go, this is what I was scared of! Sevilla finding another drop!
4k, that's about 4k now! Kokomi!
Oh my god,
and Bambi, trade on!
Chidon drops it again! This is really
Here comes the core check! Here comes the core check!
Oh, Kokomi finding 2 drops, but Lot trades 1 back! It's starting to get really close though, can Chile clutch it up?
Kokomi, Sevilla, Lot! Oh, actually! 2.5k!
2.5k!
Lot is actually coming! It's actually scratching out now! You can fucking drop! Kokomi, Sevilla now! 1.5k! No! Chile! Oh my god!
Chile!
Oh my god! Chile takes it!
What?
Chile got it!
What?
Chile got it!
Chile takes the win!
Chile got it! Chile got it at the last 2 seconds of the chart!
Oh,
and that is it!
God. What just happened? What just happened?
Miko absolutely carried that! Even with the 2 slider breaks and the 1 miss, Chile takes it and moves on, advancing to face Indonesia in the next semifinals.
Oh my god! What are these matches in the semifinals round? They have been amazing, and these players have been putting in a show for all of us! But, oh my god, Mifa, I'm in shock right now!
This is absolutely one, if not the best match I've ever seen so far, outside of Thailand versus Vietnam, which is also from Sidebreaker. That is just
Oh,
absolutely insane. It just comes down to the last 3 seconds of the chart.
oh my god. That was insane. That was insane. Amazing performances from Chile and Vietnam. We gotta give both of their teams their props, am I right, Mifa?
That is absolutely right. Chile performing absolutely insane. Vietnam has been performing absolutely insane, even with Tridon, Lot, and Sibelia, and also with the other three teammates as well. They have been performing what could possibly one of the best tiebreaker matches of all time, I think.
I would have to agree with that. But man, let's move on to another insane match so far. To US and Japan. I have to say
And
though,
yeah,
thank you, Mifa, for
yeah,
commentating. Were you about to say something, Mifa?
yeah, exactly. Again, US versus Japan are still on up on the A stream right there. So be sure to check out on the A stream right after this stream because I think we're gonna be moving on to watch over that stream because I think that's also gonna be pretty close nonetheless because we already see like 1 point difference, but you won't see on the match feed so far. So it's gonna be interesting to see what it's gonna be like now.
Woo, man. My heart's been beating so fast, and let's better get it rolling. Good luck to both US and Japan, and see ya.
And yeah, see you there, guys.